I think it's filming. Hey everybody, it's Kyle here again, back with Tina.
Hi guys.
She was in my traveling video, traveling abroad, but she's also a Spanish teacher. So I wanted to talk to her about what that's like, teaching with a disability. So I've known, for as long as I've known you wanted to be a teacher. So did it ever occur to you, like, maybe I shouldn't be a teacher because of my cerebral palsy, or?
I think that really, there was always some doubt in myself, just like everybody has when they're wanting to try something that they want to do, but they're not exactly sure about it. And even my family, I mean, I've had people say, like, oh, are you sure? Teachers are on their feet a lot. Like, they were just looking out for me, like, not trying to be rude about anything. But I was like, yeah, no, like, I'm sure this is what I want to do, though. Like, I've always wanted to do that. And you know that when we've always wanted to do something, like, good luck stopping us, because we're just going to show you that we can do it anyway, and that...
Prove people wrong.
Prove people wrong, So, yeah, it's been a dream of mine since I was about 5, and didn't decide that I wanted to teach Spanish until I was in high school. I had tutored another student, and that's kind of when I figured out, like, okay, I know I want to be a teacher, but this is, like, what I want to teach. I love this language, and I want to help others to learn it, too. But then there's always the doubt from not just your family members, not just yourself, but the random people that you don't even really know that are like, you're a teacher? Really? Like, they
like,
act
they act like
surprised.
it's not possible.
Like, that's not possible. Or the people that comment, oh, you're disabled, so
what do you teach?
You teach special ed? And, like, I have people in my family with various disabilities. I know people with various disabilities. Like, I have obviously nothing against them. Like, I'm very accepting of them. But having a disability does not mean that you have to teach people with a disability. It does not mean that you have to date people with a disability. And it does not mean that you have to marry people with a disability. It is not, because you're disabled does not mean that you always have to be with others who are disabled. Is it great having disabled friends? Sure, because you have someone that understands you. But it's not a requirement.
Yeah, I feel like, and I think that's just because people don't really know much about disability, and just the way our society is. Like, oh, you're disabled? Like, they kind of already have low expectations of what we can do.
Right.
So when you say, oh, I'm a teacher. Oh, you're a teacher? And then they're just in their head, disability, oh, so you must teach special ed. Like, they don't,
right.
I think some people don't afford us the, like, common courtesy of, like, wow, they can do so many other things.
Right.
It's like, you're disabled, so your life is centered around disability all the time.
Well, and a lot of times people don't know other people with disabilities. They know the disability that they see on TV. They know the disability that they see at the grocery store. They don't have experience with it. So we can't necessarily blame them for being stereotypical, but at the same time, it's also frustrating because I just wish that there was more awareness out there that you can be normal when you have a disability. Like, you can do normal people things, and it's not, this incredible thing. I mean, yes, we have to overcome our challenges, but we're just living our lives like everyone else, and I think that's what people don't understand.
Does it ever make you nervous, like, standing up in front of high schoolers, and, like, are they judging you because you're just, like, do you ever have that? Like, are they looking at, because, I mean, you learn from your parents, so you never know how somebody's going to take it, or, what their views are.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel like the kids, like, don't respect you enough?
I mean, I'm a 5-foot-tall disabled woman, like, so 5-foot-tall woman sometimes is enough of an advantage because you're not this 6-foot-tall guy with this booming teacher voice that just, demands respect. And I think my first year of teaching was really tough because I doubted myself, but I didn't necessarily know how much I was letting that, like, limit me, I guess.
Yeah, because that was your baseline. It's
Because
your
that
first
was
year.
my baseline. It was my first year, and my perception of how they received me was
Yeah, it can be
different than reality. It was distorted because I felt like I really had to demand respect, and I felt like maybe I wasn't going to get any. I didn't know how these kids were going to take me because a lot of them had never had a teacher with a disability. But
exposure.
I think if you asked my students now, they probably wouldn't seem any different than any of their other teachers. But I wouldn't have told you that my first year teaching.
Because the more you're around somebody with a disability, the less you notice the disability.
Right. I mean, back in the day, high school, my sister's soccer friends didn't refer to me as, oh, your sister, oh, Christina, oh, the one with the cane. No, it was, oh my gosh, she's so good at Spanish. I'm so jealous. I don't know how she's getting an A in Spanish 3, that's just awesome, People that really know you don't always even see you with a disability, and that
I love when you realize somebody forgot you're disabled, and they're like, oh well, why we'll just do this, and it's like, but I can't. And they're like crap, I forgot.
Right.
It's like, yes, we need more people to forget
yes.
about disability.
I mean, or just knowing that it's there and being willing to help us, but not having that be the first thing that people say about us,
they associate with.
Side story, when my best friend was in college, we were at this education fair, and her and I were walking around grabbing souvenirs. She might have been holding my bag, I don't really remember, but one of her friends in class the next day had said, I just thought that it was so nice that you were helping that girl at the education fair, and I don't know if he said special needs or something, or how he worded it, but it took my friend a day to figure out that he was talking about me. And she comes back to class and she goes, yeah, that girl that I was helping has been my best friend since I was 5. She's gonna be a teacher too, and she's one of the smartest people that I know. And so just to have her, I know she's known me longer than anybody, basically, almost as long as my own sister, for goodness sakes, but to have somebody not even think of me that way was wow, that was really cool,
Yeah. We need more people like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I have always kind of wondered this myself. Has the school done anything different for you because you're just, because of your CP? I know they've kind of changed your parking situation sometimes.
They allow me to park on the street in the 20-minute parking in the winter because it's the closest to the school, and although I can park in the handicap spots around the back side of the school, that's not always plowed very well, and I finally just went to, I guess I kind of asked one of the office ladies first, and if my principal was there, and she's like, oh, she's here, let me just ask her. And she's my principal says the city enforces it, we don't, but we're not gonna let them ticket you, it's gonna be fine. They're not gonna drive by and look for that most days. And so that's what I do when the weather's bad, is I park out front in the handicap spot, just because I don't have to go ice skating across the parking lot, because that's always an adventure in itself. So,
well, and it sounds like that's kind of really the only accommodation that they make for you, because they hold her to the same standard that they hold every other teacher.
Right. It's not different. I'm not expected to do less. I mean, if I needed my schedule to be different because I couldn't stand for as long as I do, I think that they would probably do that, but I haven't had issues with it. You can teach sitting down too. I love to be up walking around, seeing how everybody's doing, and it just keeps everybody on task, and it keeps things moving, and it keeps me healthy to be up and moving around. But I also don't need to stand for the whole entire school day and not sit down. That's not an expectation of any teacher, so I can't expect that of myself either.
It's your classroom. You can choose to sit, choose to stand as much as you want.
Right.
Nobody's going to be like, you're sitting too much. And if somebody does say you're sitting too much, I'd go to the higher ups and be like,
No, that's
like,
they can't.
You can't say that to me.
No, they wouldn't. I mean, I have support from everybody, whether I haven't really needed to ask for any kind of support like that, but I know that they would want me to be successful just like anybody else, you know.
Yeah. She still has to go through teacher evaluations within the first 5 years, just like every other teacher.
Right.
They don't give her special treatment.
It's no different. Yeah, I mean, it really is no different than anybody else. And I mean,
I know you say sometimes writing on the board can be a little difficult sometimes with using your craft.
Right, because you're not supposed to have your back to the audience. Well, I can't just stand sideways and write. I'll fall over. So you learn to use, I mean, that was a criticism that I got from another teacher once that came to observe me, and first I was kind of like, well, how am I gonna? So he suggested that I ask for an Elmo, which is basically a projector that I can stand there and face the class and write on it, and that's most of the time what I do. Or I have the students write stuff on the board for me. Like, we're making a list of something. It's like, all right, you think of one. I'll give you a couple minutes to think of one. And we're going to come here and we're going to organize it on the board together. And then it's their pretty handwriting on the board and not my chicken scratch. So, you know, those kinds of things work out too. And you just have to find, like, what works for you. It's not always easy, but I love my job. And, you know, I love working with the kids and helping them figure it out. And, you know, hearing that some of them are going abroad is really exciting, you know, for them to have some of those experiences that I had, like we mentioned in our last video. So.
She brings value. That's what I just want to, like, bring home. Just because you're disabled doesn't mean you don't bring value. And these kids are being exposed every day to someone with a disability, a physical disability that they can see. It's not something that you can hide, but they see you every day, day in and day out, doing your job. You're not any less of a teacher because you're disabled. Like,
right.
You're doing everything you can do to the best that you can do.
Right.
You're showing these kids what's possible because they might not think that it is, you know, before you they might not have thought, oh, someone with a physical disability can't be a teacher. Like, that's too hard.
Right.
That'd be too hard.
Whether or not I, you know, intend to be an example for them, I do think that those of us that are disabled, are an example, and sometimes we carry the responsibility of representing people with disability well, whether we like it or not. You know, that's just how it is.
Because that opens the whole, you're an inspiration. You know, you're such an inspiration because you're a teacher who's disabled and you're doing it.
I'm just doing my job, you know. But, I mean, you know, those comments, like, I know I'd watch Kyle's other video, and we've talked about that inspiration thing before, too. It's not always bad, trust me, because when you're having a good day, or a bad day, or even a good day, sometimes it's really nice to have somebody say, like, hey, I think, you know, what you're doing is a really great job. And, you know, even at parent-teacher conferences, like, hearing parents these last couple days say that they think that I'm just doing some really great things, you know, with these kids is, like, such validation, because these parents are saying these things to someone that they've never really met before, but just, you know, from what they've heard from their son or daughter. So, you know, don't sell yourself short, because sometimes you don't really realize the impact you have. Until somebody comes and tells you that, you know, sometimes years later, especially in the teaching field. Kids don't like to tell you something's cool, but then sometimes later on they're like, yeah, I really didn't realize, but so-and-so, you know, had an impact on me.
And they're not going to remember, they're not going to remember you for, oh, she was my disabled teacher. It'll be like, she taught me this and I learned this. Like, they're gonna be like, she was my Spanish teacher. Like, I'm sure the disabled isn't even gonna be a factor 20 years from now. People are gonna come back to you and be like, you know, I really enjoyed your class, you taught me a lot. They're not gonna be like, you did it while being disabled. Like, good for you, you know?
Right.
Like, so chase your dreams, kids.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you know.
You can succeed.
There is definitely that element of like, don't tell me you can't, because, and even the kids say, and it makes me laugh. One of them's like, I'm white as paper, I can't speak Spanish. And they go, okay, look at Miss McCormick. She's white as paper, she's speaking Spanish. I laughed so hard with my class that day. So hard. It was so funny. I'm like, yep, no excuses, kids. No excuses.
I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, you know.
So, thank you for kind of giving us an insight on what.
Well, sure. I mean, you know, it's my job. I could talk about it any day, but if it can help somebody else to see that there's just other possibilities that you might not be sure of, you know, I'm willing to share those experiences.
Because that's what why I wanted to bring, well, you on, and just anyone that, you know, to just show people disability has its challenges, but challenges can be overcome. Some with a lot more effort than others. I'm not going to say it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard, but it's also possible to succeed.
Yeah.
So I just wanted people to kind of get a little taste of that, and you've been doing quite well for yourself, so thought you'd be a good first guest.
Well, thanks. Wow, thanks for having me. I've been watching these videos since the beginning, and I've, you know, always been, you know, oh yes, like I can just, like, I totally agree with what you're saying, and we've had some good conversations just because of your videos, so I'm just happy that I can add to that, you know, for everyone else to see, and hopefully this can start more of a conversation too. So
all right, well, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Again, I post every Tuesday. Please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified, because I've kind of been getting that people aren't being able to find my notifications. Make sure you hit the bell and hit all notifications. If you like this, please share it on some sort of social media. Comment down below if you're a teacher with a disability, and any experiences you had. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Ugh.